Hi there. I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while now because I came up with this idea about maybe almost a year ago. This is a dog cookie recipe, but it's really not like any other recipe that you've probably seen for dog cookies because, first of all, there's no baking involved. We're not making dog biscuits. We have two little dogs, two little Havanese. One of them, Cinder, has Cushing's disease, which is, I guess, what is it? It's not an autoimmune. It's an adrenal gland disease. But regardless of that, the thing is that she can't eat anything but special food. So we have gastrointestinal, low-fat, Royal Canin prescription dog food that she has to have, and she's not allowed to have any treats. She can't have dog biscuits, she can't have chew sticks, she can't have beef jerky sticks or any of that stuff. But she loves to have treats, and the doctor said she can have carrots, she can have broccoli, she can have cauliflower, that's fine, but nothing else. So I came up with this idea to make treats for her using just those ingredients. It works wonderfully. Both dogs just go crazy for these treats. Guarantee you, your dogs will love them. They're easy to make and kind of fun. So I'm going to show you how we do it. First of all, a can of dog food. This is regular mashed up dog food, not the stew kind or anything like that. It's got to be the mashed up kind. And then this is broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, riced. So these are the vegetables. This is one apple. I've already cut it up, just preferably a hard apple. Don't get something that's soft and mushy because you want it to chop up. So I add one apple just to give it a little bit of natural sweetness. And that's it. So we start with the dog food. Pleasant as this is. So we get it all out of the can. Really, nothing good about dog food. So once we do that, I just kind of mix it up and mash it up a little bit. Get it like that. Now we just take the vegetables. And I had a measuring cup here. Here's a measuring cup. I'm going to measure a cup, a big cup, and see how that is. So that looks like about the right amount. You can see here. Now these are frozen, by the way. You don't want to thaw them out or anything like that. And you just mix that together. And you can judge the consistency. You want it to be kind of almost a half and half vegetables to dog food. Otherwise, it'll just be too much dog food or too much vegetables. Now let's take the apple, and where's the top? That's pretty good. Again, it's just one apple, and you can use a green apple or a red apple. It doesn't make any difference. Let me put that in there. And again, we stir that all up. If there's any big chunks of apple, you can take them out so they don't upset the mix. Just kind of mash it together, just get it all mashed in there really good. Okay, that's pretty much it. Just all nice and mixed up. Now, here's the fun part. This is a standard 13 by 9 cookie sheet. I think they call it a what?
Jelly roll
a jelly roll pan. It's a cookie sheet with edges to it, you know, about a 3/4 of an inch of an edge. Now, I'm going to put a towel down here just because it's easier. It doesn't slide around so much. So here's what you do. You just take this. Get it all in there. Now the fun part. You just start mashing it up. And what you want to do, it's kind of like, almost like when you roll out pizza dough and you just keep pushing it to the edges. You don't want to do it all at once. You have to kind of work it so it gets out to the edges. Now, we're going to make these about, I would say, 1/8 of an inch thick. If you have a bigger dog, you might want to make them more like a 1/2 an inch thick, in which case you might want to use more dog food or more veggies or whatever. But for our little dogs, the 1/8 of an inch works really well. So we just kind of push it a little bit at a time. Again, it's like stretching out pizza dough. I think that's good. So the next thing we do is, I don't know what do you call this? A chopper?
Chopping
And yeah, it's one of these things that, you know, you usually get them in a pair. You get the bowl and you get the chopper that fits the bowl and you can chop around.
liver.
Yeah, chopped liver. You could use a pizza cutter, but I think you'd have trouble when you got to the edge. So I use this. So here's what you do. Start about 1 inch from the edge and just make a cut. Then you go to the next line and you make a cut. And again, you can make these as big as you want. I'm making them about 1 inch or a little bit, maybe 1.25 inches. But if you have a bigger dog, you might want to make larger ones. Okay, now you go the other direction. Clean that one up a little bit. The first time I did this, I froze it all first and then tried to cut it. That was a mistake. So I figured out it's best to cut it, even though they're going to stick together when they freeze, but they're kind of, you know, they're scored, so it's easy to get them apart. And one more row. Okay. That's what we've got. They're all scored. They look great. And there's really nothing else to do. If you want to, you know, fix something, you can clean it up a little bit if you want to. But that's all there is to it. Now, we're going to put this in the freezer. And we don't have to cover it. You can cover it if you want with some wax paper or something, but it really doesn't make any difference. And we'll come back in about, I would guess, 2 hours, because it doesn't take very long to freeze. I'd say 2 hours is about it. So we'll come back, take it out of the freezer, and see what it looks like. Okay, it's actually been 3 hours now, not 2. I checked it in 2 and they were still just a little bit softer than I wanted them. So let me go get them out of the freezer and we'll have a look. This is it. They're all frozen. And boy, this is cold. Now what you're going to do is take this cutter that you had before, because these are going to be pretty well stuck to the pan and to each other. So what we do is we take the cutter and with a little elbow grease, we have to cut them. So let's see, and it's not easy. If you let them just sit for a few minutes, it's easier, but they get a little bit less frozen. But anyway, that's what you do. So I'll continue to try to do this here. There we go. You see, just by being out for a couple of minutes, they kind of warm up enough to make it easier to cut. I can go back and cut. So now I'm just going to go the other way. So we go here. At this point, what you can do, depending on how well you cut the first batch, is you can just take them and break them. And now that they're out of the freezer for just a couple of minutes, it makes it much easier to break them. I think one of the reasons the dogs like them so much is dogs don't normally get anything cold. And these, of course, are frozen. So when they first get them, they're cold. And our dogs just absolutely love them. And I think part of that is because they're cold. You know, it's like, oh, wow, what is this? We never get anything cold. Unless you keep their food in the fridge, I guess, then it might be cold, but not as cold as these. So we just break these up. And then I take a 1 gallon Ziploc. And just try to get them all to go in there. Well, almost all of them. Like that. And that's it. And you just put these back in the freezer, and when your dogs want a treat, or when you want to treat your dogs, you just take 1 or 2 out, and they're great. And again, if you have a large dog, you might want to make them, you know, like 2 inches square, or you might want to make them a little bit thicker. But we have small dogs, so this works really, 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 really well. But I think any dog would like any size. So that's it. Hope you liked it, and try it. And if you come up with a better idea, let me know. But this really, really works for our dogs, and they just love them. Thanks for watching.